Well, I think this whole thing is going to blow up and collapse soon and be really, really ugly when it does. I saw this morning when I woke up. This is Gem on Twitter, Pray for Good Pools, who, you know what? I feel like they've kind of been radicalized lately. When I first started seeing them appear on Twitter, it felt like they were doing like a lot of the engagement baiting kind of stuff. But the last month or so, they've been posting absolute straight bangers that not everybody agrees with, but I think are fire takes. This one that they put up this morning, though, this was funny. We're officially in the brain dead collecting era. We all kind of observed this as well with the trade up challenge on the weekend. A lot of the prices that you see at a card show, like the sticker price or whatever, or like the market price, it's not the actual price that things are selling for. And when people try to go and sell a card like that, like, or a card that is like, I don't know, supposed to be really expensive and sought after, like I was just saying, the dude that had the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved, PSA 10, 3.2 grand Australian, but he was getting offers of 2.2 grand. When you go to actually sell those cards, they don't actually sell. And so the prices often feel really fake. But I saw this and I just thought it was, I thought it was interesting. So these are sold prices for the Umbreon from Simplified Chinese Gem 2, which I haven't opened and I'm waiting for a mate. I'm waiting for a mate. That's an old meme.
I'm just waiting for a mate, as I said.
Who's your mate?
Hey?
I think this card is sick, right? But I think a PSA 10 of it at 1500 US is fucking wild, like outrageous. Considering the price of the box for this is at retail supposed to be about 30 USD. A lot of the pumping has like kind of moved over to Chinese now. I think Chinese is really easy to see quick gains on, or like you're really able to like turn strong profits on it, because if you can bring it in for like 30 USD and then sell it for 60 USD, you're basically doubling your money. That's a pretty good return, right? But I think at the end of the day, the cards aren't really worth this much. And this stuff is kind of like a fake price. I kind of worry for the people that are buying cards like this, because I personally just don't see it holding. I was talking about this yesterday. I feel like the Simplified Chinese is a bit of a fad in this whole bubble thing that people really, like, we speak about how we're in this bubble right now. I think the most vulnerable cards and sets are the Simplified Chinese ones. But I thought this was outrageous. It is a fun set. It looks like a fun set. It looks like a fun set to open. It looks like part of the fun comes from the accessibility, but I feel like the accessibility is being strangled at the moment. This card will retire me in 30 years. That's everybody's plan. If everybody's plan is to retire off of these cards in 20 years, who are we selling to? Do we really think that we can all sell this card for like $10,000 in 20 years? There's not going to be a new wave of collectors to appreciate and actually buy the investors or like the speculators bags in 20 years, because those are the people you're trying to sell it to in 20 years. The people that didn't have access to it now because they were too young, because they were like 5. They couldn't afford it because they were like 15 and they were priced out, or they just got into Pokemon late. The third is the most likely to be able to buy it off of you, but I don't think they're as big as like an entire new wave of fans. But we're not going to get an entire new wave of Pokemon card fans if they can't even engage in the space now. They're just going to go and do something else. It's just a pyramid scheme with extra steps. It's really what it feels like at the moment. But when I saw this, what it got me thinking about was, I guess, this yesterday, where, you know, we're seeing like for all intents and purposes, essentially a bulk card from VSTAR Universe, right? This is basically a bulk card. Like, nobody in their right mind is looking at this card and is like, man, this is so nostalgic, right? Like, yep, that's it. Mew VMAX, just the regular. That's really hitting the spot right now. Takes me back. The Japanese version too. And I'm so glad I got it as a PSA 10. Nobody cares about, no one's going to care. No one will care about this card. You cannot convince me. I am not being convinced. Not bulk in my heart. Shut your fucking pie hole, Roxanne. Shut the fuck up. This is a piece of fucking shit. Okay? The slab, okay? The cards, whatever. This in a slab is an affront. It is an affront to humanity that someone would slab this. It's like slabbing a fire energy card, okay? It's insulting. What's sad is that someone bought it, and what's scary is that how many of them are out there and how many others like this are out there. Because let's say I rip a search, right? Lapras VMAX, PSA 10 Japanese, 35 USD. 35 AUD. All right, we're in AUD now. Okay, cool. You know how many I got of these? I could just sell these and have probably like $1,000. Do you think it's normal that I can do that? Do you actually, honest question, do you think it's normal and right that I could do that? Because I open up a lot of Shiny Star V. So I could actually just sell, I don't know, maybe 50 of these raw, right? And if I say 50 of these raw are like 10 Australian dollars, well, you're telling me it's right, it's normal that I can just make 500 Australian dollars selling this card. Ethically, it's wrong because I'm basically selling something that I know is essentially worthless for $10, right? Which is just, it's just too much. Ethically, it's wrong. I'm taking advantage of somebody's trust in Pokemon cards. And then if I grade it and I have 50 of them and I grade them and I sell them at $30 each, right? You think it's normal that I get 1,500 Australian dollars out of that? And that's just one card. So then we go back to the Mew because I can do the same thing with Mew VMAX. And I can sell 50 of these for $60. So I can make $3,000. So I can basically go through my bulk, VMAX, Climax, and VSTAR Universe, pick out like 5 of the most popular Pokemon. Let's say I've got 50 of each of them, right? And I'm selling them at, $60 each, right? So you're telling me I can go and get my Crystal Charizard by grading my bulk VMAX and VSTAR Universe, getting them as 10s, between 9s and 10s, and selling them totally earning about $10,000 to $15,000. Do you think that's normal? I agree with you, but what if someone comes up to you and says, hey man, I need that card. I'll give you a tenner for it. No, it's so easy for me to say this because like I'm streaming, I'm the streamer, guys. I'm the perfect human being. But like, no, I wouldn't. It's ethically wrong. And that's the whole point of having like a code of ethics and a moral compass. It's like, yeah, okay, I could, but like what the action here is fucked. Like, yeah, okay, I'll give it to me $10. Like I'll sell you $10. What am I doing there? What am I adding into the world? Like what energy am I putting into the world right now? That it's okay to just take advantage of people that don't know better. If someone was like throwing, they're like, no. I really just want to give you $10. And like they were insistent because they just like wanted to chop me out or they just wanted to like support me or the channel, whatever. Different story. But if it was a complete stranger, there's no way. There's no way. It's like when I see bulk commons and uncommons and stuff selling for like $10, like $5 or $10. I think it's crazy because you can pick those cards up in Japan for like 20 cents. It's sucking and sapping the soul out of like what makes Pokemon cards fun. Morality is sadly lost when it comes to money and business. You really can have a strong and like healthy business without doing stuff like this. Like you can still have your business, but this is taking advantage of the new wave that don't know better. And it's very hard to explain and like get that information across because we're in this content wave right now where people don't want to be told something. They don't want to be told. Like there's like a sense of pride where it's like, I don't want to be taught. I don't want to be told. But like these people need to be told like you are buying junk. These are selling every other day. One of these is selling every day. This one sold best offer 95. Like what's going on? It's not our jobs to daddy their wallets, whatever that's on them. Well, I think this whole thing is going to blow up and collapse soon and be really, really ugly when it does. Joe brought this up yesterday when I was replaying some of the stream, but this is a sequence where I was looking through a box of slabs, which I thought was like kind of funny because like it's like slabs out in the open. Joe was saying it's crazy how many cards are just like random cards are just in a slab. People are just sending these cards in and getting them graded. Because if they're 10s, like they just sell for some reason. But then there's everything else behind it that doesn't make it, that misses and doesn't hit the 10. And then you have like this essentially junk wax era. Tag teams and megas are going up by like 50% per month for the last 3 months. So I think megas are a weird one. I think megas are kind of sucked into this current hype wave because it's like, oh, like we've got mega Pokemon coming back. So like every mega has to go up. I think megas will cool off because aesthetically they don't look as good as tag teams. I think tag teams are the one exception to this issue that I have at the moment because of how good they look and how good they always looked and the weight they carry by Arteta having illustrated all of them and how they are like a cohesive group of cards across, I don't know, 2 years of sets. Tag teams, I say, are their exception. There's definitely a ton of them out there. But I think anything pre-2020 is in a different ballgame just because of how many extra cards, how much more was printed post-2020, 2021. This whole box was like this. This box is not a diss. Me talking about this is not a diss on the seller. I don't want this to be like an attack on them. I want to just talk about it. I want people to like think about this. That's all. I'm just trying to initiate a conversation. But this is basically a box of like random bulk graded. The Venusaur V, like the Venusaur from Champion's Path. Like, what are we doing? Random card. Why is it graded? Free it from the plastic prison. Lugia from Legendary Heartbeat. I don't know if you guys caught that. Look at this. All right. I'm going to point this out. Because like a lot of people are new and don't know ball, right? Lugia from Legendary Heartbeat. As a PSA 10, it's a holo. So a box of Legendary Heartbeat, Japanese booster box, retail 35 USD, 4,950 yen back in the day. 20 packs. You're getting about, I think it was like 2 VMAX, 4 V. So you're getting about 6 V to VMAX. And then the other 14 are probably going to be holos. So you're probably seeing 2 Lugia per booster box. And it's getting pulled every single time. This is a holo. It's like when you're opening up a box of, I don't know, what have I got here? Destined Rivals. It is the equivalent of me opening up a box of Destined Rivals, getting like a Blaziken, right? And grading it. Do you think that is a wise decision? A lot of people just like a number assigned to their card, in all fairness. It's a form of collecting, like how others prefer Japanese even though they can't read it. So we just need more honesty in collecting. People need to be more honest. When you grade a card, if you like a number next to your card, you can just put it in a one touch and then put a number next to it. It's the same thing. If the only reason you like the card is because it's in a slab with a number next to it, I don't think you actually like the card. You just like the brand. You just like, it's like wearing Nike. Grading serves 2 purposes in my mind. You encapsulate and authenticate something that means a lot to you, or you are grading it because you are trying to have it gain monetary value. Did you just say Nike as one syllable? It's an Australian thing. If you liked the card, why would you spend another $30 to put it in a slab? Don't you think it's a waste of money? But if the collector wants it and likes it, then who's to say their form of collecting is exactly wrong? Maybe we're trying to impose our way of doing things. Like I was saying, you're not collecting the card anymore. You're just collecting a slab. You're just collecting slabs by PSA. You're not a card collector. You're a slab collector. This isn't so much a discussion about wrong or right, though. It's more of an observation and discussion about whether we're entering this insane junk wax era. If you're picking these up for 80 bucks right now, thinking you're getting deals, I think you're in for a rude awakening in the future. It feels like, Rock, the argument that you're making is, but why does it matter if the other person's happy? Obviously, slabs would be worthless if the cards weren't there. Some people just like the number, the case, the fact it's authenticated, and other reasons. So personally, I can understand why someone would want that, but I do agree many vendors are grading everything to sell it for a quick profit. Okay, 2 bits there, but I do agree many vendors are grading everything to sell it for a quick profit. I think that's what a lot of this is, right? A lot of these exist just to go into like mystery bags to be flaws or something. It's most likely what's happening here. It's not likely that somebody is buying this thinking like, yeah, this is gonna like, I need this in my collection. I need this PSA Mew fucking VMAX 10. It's most likely that these are going as like filler for a box like this, or they're going into a mystery bag. My worry about it with this, right, is because I think collecting is fucking awesome, right? I've been collecting things since I was probably 5 years old. I would say out of all the things I've collected, maybe 2 to 4% of it I've actually parted with. You can say I've hoarded basically everything I've ever collected. I very rarely sell things because I just like having them. For me, I'd much rather have them. And in the last 5 years, especially since starting the channel, I've really come to appreciate how collecting can connect you with other people. My concern is that if my introduction to collecting 5 years ago was what it is now, which is primarily like worth only, slabs only, vending, and like 80% market, all of those things, right? If that was my introduction to it, I feel like I would lose interest in it very quickly. That also has a very high barrier for entry. You can't really engage in volume in this space unless you have a lot of money right now, especially this kind of type of collecting where everything's slabbed. I don't like seeing junk like this bulk graded and it being normalized. That's why I want to talk about it. It just feels like we're like the people here right now and the people that I associate with and hang around with the most in the space are becoming a minority because this is normalized. So while, yeah, okay, people like it, and if they like it, what's the big problem? I think what people aren't going to like is when the value of their collection basically like halves or thirds, because everyone realizes all of these cards here, they're not worth 80 bucks. Like they're worthless basically. It's a random bulk common or like reverse holo. And then they're going to go, oh shit, all this stuff I spent money on, I thought I was like building like a good collection. Like you're saying, like, oh, the person likes the number and whatever, likes having it slab. And then they realize, wait, I could have got double the amount of cards if I just bought them raw or like waited a bit. Man, this sucks. And then they just dip. That's what I don't want to see long term. I don't want to see that in the future. But that's where I'm worried that we're heading. That is a yap. Holy yap fucking marathon.